Proof of justice's operations and actions are based, at their core, on pseudorandom, trackable numbers named Petersons. Petersons are constructed in a very specific way, which allows anyone to validate their authenticity. A new Peterson is generated by combining the block Peterson of the previous block with the identifier of the entity generating the new Peterson. In one or more implementations of proof of justice, the process would essentially consist of the entity taking the block Peterson and then combining it with its identifier in some way, usually through a series of special logical operations named XOR, although the method can vary greatly from one implementation to another. In some implementations where there are multiple block Petersons per block, one of them would be selected in a determined way, or they would be combined in some way to form a single Peterson, which would then be used in the generation of the new Peterson. Once the new Peterson is generated, in some situations, the entity would also need to sign it using an asymmetric cryptographic algorithm to prove its ownership and make it valid. Tracking a Peterson consists of finding out what was the state of the system when it was generated, which means finding out the block Peterson used in the generation. The tracking process would consist of first obtaining the entity identifier, which was used in the Peterson's generation process. This entity identifier can be obtained by various means, such as with the Peterson's signature, if any. Then, the tracking process would essentially consist of performing a series of XOR operations on the Peterson to track using the obtained identifier and the results of the multiple XOR operations. Once done, the final value would be the block Peterson. If this block Peterson matches the one that should be in the system at that time, depending on the situation, then the tracked Peterson is considered valid. If not, it is considered invalid. BB Inventions. High-tech research for curious minds.